Broadcasting live from WOUB TV in Athens, this is Newswatch.
City Council is working to make protesting safer and easier here in Athens County. Good evening, I'm Chelsea Sick. Thanks for joining us. To make things easier and safer for protesters in Athens, the City Council is changing the parade permitting process. Mayor Steve Patterson wants the now 3 weeks notice of parade permits to be reduced to 7 days. He also wants the $25 fee to be waived. Captain of Police Ralph Harvey says the permits are necessary because of lack of staff.
Not Washington, D.C. PD. We don't have thousands of officers with hundreds on duty at any given time. We need time to arrange the proper personnel to handle it. And it's not just police personnel. Some of these events require things such as street closures.
Councilwoman Chris Fall says the protests are a good way to help protesters speak out legally. Ohio University has been one of the top party schools in the country, but that distinction was gradually lost over the last 13 years, thanks in part to efforts by outgoing President Roderick McDavis. WOUB's Taylor Nimmo has the story.
Numbers Fest is now the largest of the spring fests at Ohio University. It's parties like this and the nationally recognized Halloween block party that held OU in the top party school position. City Council President Christine Nisley says measures have been taken to improve the school's reputation.
We have now a joint police advisory commission in place that was started several years ago, and that has both police chiefs, community members, landlords, and business people all sitting around a table talking together.
74 people were arrested at 2009's Palmer Fest, compared to just 14 arrests last year. Also under President McDavis' administration, first-year students have been required to complete an alcohol education course. Athens resident Keegan Shaw says recent fests have seemed to be more under control.
Our school's number one priority is academics, but at the same time, I'm sure a lot of students come here because they think it's a big party school, and it is a big party school, but my opinion, I think that they're just doing more to put the academics in the spotlight.
Because of the recent changes, it's giving Athens community members plenty of reasons to feel safe.
Definitely affected the quality of life for our community. Number one, that it's safer, as I said earlier, and then also just making it our neighborhoods more livable.
So the next challenge for an incoming president, working with the city to make it more livable for both students and long-term residents.
And the fest season is less than a month away, with some of the events beginning just after spring break. There's been a recent spike in Miami University students taken to the hospital for alcohol-related problems. Authorities say there have been more than 20 emergency calls over a span of 4 days because of alcohol problems. They started at the end of rush season for campus frats and sororities. There's no alcohol allowed during rush activities. Miami's Greek life officials called an emergency meeting with fraternity and sorority leaders and the university's president to deal with the problem. Meigs County Board of Elections member Rita Slavin is resigning. She announced her resignation at the end of Tuesday's regular board meeting. According to the Pomeroy Daily Sentinel, Slavin, a Democrat, served on the board for 17 years. The Democratic Party Executive Committee will meet to make a selection for a new board member. The selection must then be approved by the Secretary of State. Award-winning journalist and former Washington Post ombudsman Andrew Alexander just finished co-authoring an in-depth report for NPR about the death of 2 of its journalists in Afghanistan in June. Alexander is a strong proponent of increased security measures for reporters. He talks with WOUB about security needs globally and the heightened need for reporter security here at home.
Back when I did this, when I went out with an insurgency group, say in Angola or in Northern Africa, they wanted publicity, and it was in their best interest to protect you because they wanted their story out, and they wanted to see you get home safely. That has all changed today.
You can hear the complete conversation with Andy Alexander on WOUB's Spectrum podcast, available at iTunes Podcast, Google Play, and NPR One.
from the Newswatch Weather Center, I'm forecaster Ethan Emery. And if you were out and about today, you felt that cold wind kind of hit you kind of in the face. But that will change because right now temperatures are only around 34 degrees with those cloudy skies in the area, winds out of the northwest at 9 miles per hour, and that dew point dry at 23 degrees, and that pressure is steady at 29.79 inches. And across the region right now, we do have temperatures kind of all over the place. 38 degrees down in Ironton by the river. But then if you look to our northern counties like Newark or Cambridge, 28 and 29 degrees respectively, they are experiencing a few snow showers because of some lake effect snow. But that snow will taper off this evening. It won't be much of a problem for any of us here around the area. And overnight tonight, we do have temperatures around 32 degrees by 8 p.m. And then by midnight, 27 degrees as clouds begin to taper off a little bit. And then by 4 a.m., we see temperatures around 24 degrees with partly cloudy skies. Now back to you, Chelsea.
A Kanawha County official is demanding more details about a small spill of a chemical along the Kanawha River. The spill leaked at a coal preparation facility last week. The same chemical caused a water crisis in the area 3 years ago. County Commission President Kent Carper wrote a strongly worded letter to the West Virginia Department of Environmental Protection for more details.
Well, it's the chemicals they leaked out. It came from a coal company here, Mammoth Coal. It's been categorized as a small spill, but this particular chemical, it doesn't take much for it to create quite a bit of contamination.
Carper expects to receive more information soon. State health officials have not given any indication that the local Cedar Grove drinking water supply had been contaminated or that MCHM chemical had reached the river. An update to a story we brought you earlier this week. One of 2 inmates who escaped from the correctional facility has been caught. 32-year-old Leonard Lowry was taken into custody yesterday. 24-year-old Zachariah Spires is still at large, but was last seen in the Parkersburg area. He is not considered a danger to the public. Juvenile delinquents charged for sex offenses now do not have to register as a sex offender when they turn 18. West Virginia's highest court says under state law, those delinquency adjudications are not convictions. The court also ruled that the names of The court also ruled that the names of juveniles convicted of first or second degree sexual assault can be disclosed publicly. Ohio could become a right-to-work state. House Bill 53 will weaken union power by making membership and dues optional, according to the Dayton Daily News. Workers would not be required to join a union as a condition of employment, pay union dues, or pay a fair share fee instead of the dues. By doing this, ranks could be reduced within Ohio labor unions. Ohio teachers may have to shadow someone in a new local business to renew their teaching licenses. This is one of K-6 proposals under the state budget. The Cleveland Plain Dealer reports these externships are to aid teachers in discussing careers with students and preparing them to enter the workforce. A Columbus resettlement group is closing its doors due to an expected loss in funding. World Relief Columbus will close in mid-July. President Trump's executive order would decrease the number of refugees admitted to the U.S. by more than half. Other resettlement groups in the area have laid off workers and made significant budget cuts. The goal of resettlement groups is to help refugees become self-sufficient after arriving to the U.S. More controversy swirling around the White House and ex-General Michael Flynn. How the Congress plans to investigate Trump's relations with Russia. In talks with Israel's Prime Minister, we'll tell you about Netanyahu's meeting with the president. These stories and more when Newswatch returns.
University students really have a huge sense of pride in our campus, in our school, and in our education.
People don't come to Ohio just to go to college. They come here to become a Bobcat.
It's a really unique atmosphere.
Bobcat pride is having that natural camaraderie.
Bobcats are just happy to be Bobcats.
My favorite time of year at Ohio has to be homecoming.
When the alumni come back, you can see that the love of this university doesn't fade.
Once you're a Bobcat, you're always a Bobcat.
The student body here at Ohio University absolutely is a family.
The students support one another.
You become this unit, this big, friendly family unit.
There's this connectedness.
You feel a part of something.
Driving in on the highway and just seeing the red bricks and the trees again, it's just like coming back home.
There's great students, great professors.
You just walk around campus and think, oh my gosh, I can't believe I go here.
I feel like I matter in the community, and I feel like I matter here at Ohio University.
It's home. Athens is home. I knew that I wanted to come to Ohio University from the very first time I visited here.
There's something about the campus that grabs you.
It was really comforting.
Very welcoming.
It's one thing to write down your name and your GPA and that kind of stuff and send it in. It's another thing entirely to be here and see how great it is.
The campus here is just electric.
Absolutely gorgeous.
Everything just looked really college-like.
I looked at my mom and I said, this is it. And she said, the tour's just started. I said, no, you don't understand. This is it.
What's going on, everybody? I'm Eric III, the host of Hardwood Heroes. You should watch our program Sundays at 11 o'clock p.m. Any important and relevant information you need about Southeast Ohio high school basketball, we have. During the week, keep up with our online content at woub.org/heroes. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter at Hardwood Heroes. You can follow your boy as well at junior_3. As always, I'm Eric III, reminding you to be heroic.
One of President Trump's cabinet picks is pulling out. Andrew Puzder, the nominee for Labor Secretary, has told the White House he does not want to proceed if there is not a viable path to confirmation. A number of top Senate Republicans had urged the White House to withdraw the nomination, saying the votes for approval were not there. Puzder needed at least 50 Republican votes to be approved. President Donald Trump welcomed Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to the White House for a joint press conference. It's the first time the leaders have met face-to-face since Mr. Trump took office. He promised the U.S. will work diligently to broker a peace deal between Israel and the Palestinians. The president also reiterated his opposition to Iran's nuclear program and said he will prevent them from developing a nuclear weapon.
Under your leadership, I believe we can reverse the rising tide of radical Islam. And in this great task, as in so many others, Israel stands with you, and I stand with you.
President Trump and his advisors have indicated that they want a friendlier relationship with Israel than the sometimes rocky relations the Obama administration had. President Trump has nothing but nice things to say about retired General Michael Flynn, except that he fired him 2 days ago. The White House says Trump asked Flynn to resign after he misled the vice president over conversations he had with the Russian ambassador regarding sanctions. At a news conference Wednesday, the president blamed the media.
Michael Flynn, General Flynn, is a wonderful man. I think he's been treated very, very unfairly by the media. As I call it, the fake media in many cases. And I think it's really a sad thing that he was treated so badly.
Trump maintains that leaked documents proving Flynn's guilt were illegal and just a way to cover up Hillary Clinton's loss in the presidential election. However, members of Congress from both parties want more answers. When it comes to investigating the Trump administration's relations with Russia, Karen Kafa reports.
Capitol Hill Democrats and Republicans have more questions about former White House National Security Advisor Michael Flynn.
We're looking for facts and we're looking for evidence.
We want to get to the bottom of these activities.
We need to ask questions first and find out whether the scope of that committee or investigation needs to be expanded.
But there are different thoughts on what to target. Democrats want to go broad.
A core part of the House Intelligence Committee investigation has to be any Russian collusion with the Trump campaign, any contact with U.S. persons.
Reports emerged Tuesday that multiple high-level Trump advisors had frequent communications with Russians known to U.S. intelligence during the presidential campaign. House Democratic leader Nancy Pelosi reiterated her call for an outside commission to delve into ties between Trump aides and Russia.
So let's take it away from Congress and the White House. Let's put it in the hands of an independent commission.
Some House Republicans say it's leaks by the intelligence community and possible motivations that need to be immediately reviewed.
We need to find out who the leaking moles are who are violating federal law inside this government, because we can't function at a national security standpoint if we've got that kind of spillage coming out of the intelligence community.
Republican congressional leaders have suggested an investigation of Flynn can be handled by a committee already investigating Russian attempts to influence the 2016 U.S. election. In Washington, I'm Karen Kafa.
And Flynn resigned Monday after just 3 weeks on the job. And on Wall Street today, stocks closed at records tonight as President Trump promises a massive tax plan. Here's a look at stocks of local interest. One high schooler made sure no girl in his class was sad on Valentine's Day. That story's still ahead.
And tonight, cloudy and cool temperatures, but a big warm-up is coming up. More on that after the break.
Professors really care. They care about my grades, they care about my opportunities, they care about my experiences, they want me to succeed.
They give those opportunities to the students.
My professors have been extremely approachable.
Literally, their door is always open.
You can go to them with pretty much anything.
Everyone knows your first and your last name and where you sit in the classroom.
I really never feel like I'm being talked down to or just being taught material. I always feel like I'm having a conversation.
And they want to share those opportunities and those experiences with us. University students really have a huge sense of pride in our campus, in our school, and in our education.
People don't come to Ohio just to go to college. They come here to become a Bobcat.
It's a really unique atmosphere.
Bobcat pride is having that natural camaraderie.
Bobcats are just happy to be Bobcats.
My favorite time of year at Ohio has to be homecoming.
When the alumni come back, you can see that the love of this university doesn't fade.
Once you're a Bobcat, you're always a Bobcat.
I knew that I wanted to come to Ohio University from the very first time I visited here.
There's something about the campus that grabs you.
It was really comforting.
Very welcoming.
It's one thing to write down your name and your GPA and that kind of stuff and send it in. It's another thing entirely to be here and see how great it is.
The campus here is just electric.
Absolutely gorgeous.
Everything just looked really college-like.
I looked at my mom and I said, "This is it." And she said, "The tour's just started." I said, "No, you don't understand. This is it."
The student body here at Ohio University absolutely is a family.
The students support one another.
You become this unit, this big, friendly family unit.
There's this connectedness.
You feel a part of something.
Driving in on the highway and just seeing the red bricks and the trees again, it's just like coming back home.
There's great students, great professors.
You just walk around campus and think, oh my gosh, I can't believe I go here.
I feel like I matter in the community, and I feel like I matter here at Ohio University.
It's home. Athens is home.
Newswatch Weather Center, I'm forecaster Ethan Emery. And temperatures across the region right now are around the mid-30s to lower 30s. We have 34 right now in Athens, 28 in Newark, and 29 over in Cambridge. And they're seeing a few showers, snow showers right now, but they're going to taper off as the evening progresses. Now today, the high temperature is around 41 degrees and the low is 34, which is actually what it is right now. But that's about normal for this time of year, and we are far off from our record. So tonight, temperatures around 23 degrees, mostly cloudy skies, and those cool winds will still be around out of the west-northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. And temperatures across the area will be around 23 degrees up in Newark, 23 here in Athens, and then up to about 27 degrees down in Ripley by the Ohio River. And it's all in part to this area of low pressure right here in the New England area, as a trough is bringing in some cooler air. But I want you to pay attention to what's happening over here. A big old area of just nothing, and that will be what's coming up as a high pressure is going to dominate the region over the next few days, actually. So tomorrow we have temperatures around 23 degrees for the morning, a little breezy, so grab the heavy jacket if you could, because it's be breezy with that colder air. Wind chills be around 15 degrees or so. And then throughout the day tomorrow, clouds will begin to increase, 23 at 8 a.m., 34 at noon, and then by 4 o'clock, temperatures will be around 38 degrees. And 39 degrees is actually a high in here in Athens. 36 is our high in Columbus, and then 41 down here in Ironton. And if you're wondering, The outlook is actually going to be quite warm for the next 6 to 10 days, as the Climate Prediction Center from the National Weather Service does give us a 90% chance of having above average temperatures. So what does that mean? That means we have high temperatures around 60 degrees for the next few days. 39 degrees here on Thursday, 50 degrees on Friday with some partly cloudy skies, and then 62 degrees on Saturday. Beautiful, beautiful day to go outside on Saturday, and then 63 on Sunday, so another repeat of a weekend like we did have this past weekend. And then for President's Day on Monday, we have temperatures around 66 degrees, and then Tuesday we have temperatures around 68 degrees. We could break a record on Tuesday, but then on Wednesday we do see temperatures fall back down around 65 degrees. Not much of a break, but back over to you, Chelsea.
Thanks. So just call him Romeo, a teenager in Wisconsin, wanted to make sure every girl at his high school felt special on Valentine's Day. And wait until you hear what he did. Madeline O'Neill has more on this thoughtful young man.
A day all about sharing the love.
A lot of people don't get flowers.
Can make people feel surprisingly alone.
And then they get mad that they don't get flowers or sad that they don't get flowers.
But Holman High School senior Zach Peterson has what he calls an easy way to fix that for everyone.
I am handing out roses to every girl in the school.
So weeks of planning, hours of prep work, and $450 later.
It'll be well worth it.
Zach rolled in Valentine's Day morning with a cart full of hundreds of roses.
They came in direct from Ecuador, two-day shipping.
He's got the biggest heart, and he doesn't do things for a reaction. He does them because he's just truly, truly kind.
Open up the doors.
Freshmen through senior classes came in one by one.
We got in here and we were like, what's going on?
So I decided that I should get roses for every single one of you.
And then we saw the flowers and it was like everybody freaked out. The amount of girl noises was insane.
Everybody gets a flower.
Oh my God, thank you.
You're welcome.
Senior Maddie Petrowski says this single rose turned her whole Valentine's Day around.
You're welcome.
I can't believe it. Like, this is the first time I've ever gotten flowers from anyone.
There you go.
Thank you.
Welcome.
I know a lot of them left the room crying, which was really nice to know because that they actually cared that he went through all this work.
Zach's sister Abigail, a sophomore, was just as surprised as anyone.
I don't have a boyfriend, so I wouldn't be getting anything else, which I know a lot of other girls are. So this was really nice because they probably won't get anything else. So it was really nice to get it all.
You're welcome. There you go.
And the flowers weren't just for the students.
Plus the lunch ladies, plus the office ladies, plus the guidance counselors, and my mom. She got a bouquet this morning too.
I hope you have a really good Valentine's Day.
Thank you.
It was a simple reminder this Valentine's Day.
It was awesome. It was really awesome.
That love has no limits.
I'm so proud of him. And some days, some girl's gonna be pretty darn lucky.
You're welcome.
Peterson says he hasn't landed any post-Valentine's Day dates yet, but it says that was the intention of his kind gesture. However, he did say prom is coming up.
Hello, I'm Megan Vanslow. Coming up in sports, a preview of the Ohio women's rematch against Central Michigan. I'll break down what happened last game and what to expect tonight. Plus, the girls' sectionals have begun, and number 4 Megs will face number 5 Jackson tonight at 7 p.m. I'll preview what the Lady Marauders have to do to keep their season alive next on Newswatch. And stay tuned to WOUB. Here's a look at what's coming up tonight on your public television station.
What's going on, everybody? I'm Eric III, the host of Hardwood Heroes. You should watch our program Sundays at 11 o'clock p.m. Any important and relevant information you need about Southeast Ohio high school basketball, we have. During the week, keep up with our online content at woub.org/heroes. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter at Hardwood Heroes. You can follow your boy as well at junior_3. As always, I'm Eric III, reminding you to be heroic.
Ohio University students really have a huge sense of pride in our campus, in our school, and in our education.
People don't come to Ohio just to go to college. They come here to become a Bobcat.
It's a really unique atmosphere.
Bobcat pride is having that natural camaraderie.
Bobcats are just happy to be Bobcats.
My favorite time of year at Ohio has to be homecoming.
When the alumni come back, you can see that the love of this university doesn't fade.
Once you're a Bobcat, you're always a Bobcat.
My professors really care. They care about my grades, they care about my opportunities, they care about my experiences, they want me to succeed.
They give those opportunities to the students.
My professors have been extremely approachable.
Literally, their door is always open.
You can go to them with pretty much anything.
Everyone knows your first and your last name and where you sit in the classroom.
I really never feel like I'm being talked down to or just being taught material. I always feel like I'm having a conversation.
And they want to share those opportunities and those experiences with us.
I knew that I wanted to come to Ohio University from the very first time I visited here.
There's something about the campus that grabs you.
It was really comforting.
Very welcoming.
It's one thing to write down your name and your GPA and that kind of stuff and send it in. It's another thing entirely to be here and see how great it is.
The campus here is just electric.
Absolutely gorgeous. Everything just looked really college-like.
I looked at my mom and I said, "This is it." And she said, "The tour's just started." I said, "No, you don't understand. This is it."
Welcome back, I'm Megan Vanslow. The number 4 seeded Lady Marauders started sectional play tonight against the 5 seeded Lady Ironmen. Jackson came out on top when the two matched up in the regular season. However, the Lady Marauders went on to win 6 of 9 after the loss to Jackson and formed a 1-2 punch between Cassidy Betzing and Devin Humphreys in that stretch. Tip-off is set for 8 p.m. at Logan Middle School. In boys basketball, the Athens Bulldogs are now 12-8 after they fell to Morgan 70-60 last night. Athens trailed 15-5 after one quarter but came within a few points at the half. The game was finally in their grasp at the end of the third when they were down by just 1 point but couldn't hold on in the final period. Logan Maxfield dropped 17 points and Griffin Lutz added 13. The Ohio men's basketball team is now 8-5 in conference play after a career-high 26-point performance from Jordan Dardis last night. Ohio held off a late Eastern Michigan rally for a 79-71 win in Ypsilanti. The Cats shot just 39% from the field but attempted 42 free throws. Ohio led by 1 with under 7 minutes left before going on a 17-5 run over 5 minutes for a 69-56 lead. The Eagles later went on an 8-0 run with just 19 seconds to cut the deficit to 75-71, but couldn't get any closer. Dardis made all 12 of his free throws. Mike Laster scored 16 points, and Kenny Kaminsky added 13 for the Bobcats. Ohio women's hoops will be in the Convo tonight, when they host Central Michigan at 7 p.m. It's Ohio's last matchup with a MAC West team in the regular season and a rematch from 2 weeks ago when the Bobcats fell to the Chippewas 64-59 in Mount Pleasant. Kiera Lampkin scored 15 points in the fourth quarter and 24 on the night. Tinara Moore led the Chippewas with 18 points and 6 rebounds. Yesterday may have been Valentine's Day, but the Cavaliers didn't have any love. All-star Kevin Love will miss at least the next 6 weeks after having surgery on his left knee yesterday, but Cleveland still managed a 116-108 win over the Timberwolves. LeBron James had 25 points, 14 assists, and 8 rebounds. Channing Frye started for Love and dropped 21 points and 10 rebounds. Kyrie Irving had 25 points for the Cavs, and James sealed the victory with a step-back three-pointer with 2 minutes to play. Tonight, Cleveland will host the Pacers for a 7 p.m. tip. And from the court to the rink, the Columbus Blue Jackets host the Maple Leafs at 7 p.m. Columbus lost 2 of their last 3, and the lack of production from key stars of earlier in the season are hurting them as of late. Sam Wagner posted 14 goals and 14 assists in the first 35 games, but has just 6 assists in the last 19. And NFL play may be over, but football never stops. The Bengals signed 4th-year cornerback Bené Benwickery today. He was Carolina's 5th-round draft pick in 2014. That's it for sports. Over to you, Ethan.
Thank you. Thank you, Megan. Tonight, temperatures around 23 degrees with mostly cloudy skies and those cool winds. And that will persist until tomorrow, as highs around 39 degrees with partly cloudy skies. A big warm-up for the weekend, and you see that for the 7-day, as we do see temperatures in the 60s for the next 5 to 7 days. Now back to you, Chelsea.
Thanks, Ethan, and that does it for our broadcast this evening. Thanks for watching. I'm Chelsea Sick. Stay tuned for the PBS NewsHour coming up next.